Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to the honorable judges, respected teachers, and fellow friends. My name is Aisyah bint Abdul Rahman, and I am from Sekolah MENENGAH Kebangsaan Abdul Rahman Talib with the school code AEA 5078. Today, I would like to share a book review about a classic English novel entitled Sense and Sensibility, written by Jane Austen. This novel was first published in 1811, and it was actually Jane Austen's first published novel. The version that I read contains around 255 pages, although the number of pages may be different depending on publisher and edition. Now, let me talk a little about the story. Sense and Sensibility focuses on two sisters, Eleanor Dashwood and Marian Dashwood. Even though they are sisters, they have very different personalities. Eleanor is calm, practical, and responsible. She usually thinks carefully before making decisions and does not easily show her emotions. She represents sense, which means logic and rational thinking. Meanwhile, Marian is emotional, romantic, and expressive. She follows her feelings and openly shows her emotions. She represents sensibility, which refers to emotions and sensitivity. Besides the two sisters, there are also several important characters in the story. Edward Ferrars is Eleanor's love interest. He is kind and respectful, but his relationship with Eleanor becomes complicated because of a secret engagement from his past. Another important character is John Willoughby, who becomes Marian's love interest. At first, he seems charming and romantic, but later he suddenly leaves her to marry a wealthy woman and choosing a social status over true love. There is also Colonel Brandon, who is sincere, loyal, and genuinely cares for Marian. Personally, I think Colonel Brandon is one of the most admirable characters in the story because of his patience and kindness. The story begins after the death of Mr. Dashwood, the father of Eleanor and Marian. Because of the inheritance laws during that time, most of the family property goes to their half-brother, John Dashwood. As a result, the Dashwood family faces financial difficulties and has to move to a smaller cottage called Barton Cottage. As the story develops, both sisters experience love, heartbreak, disappointment, and personal growth. Eleanor quietly suffers when she learns that Edward Ferrars is secretly engaged to another woman. Even though she feels hurt, she remains calm and continues to support her family. On the other hand, Marian falls deeply in love with Willoughby. She believes he truly loves her, but later he suddenly leaves her to marry a wealthy woman. Marian becomes heartbroken and emotionally devastated. I think this part of the story is very emotional because it shows how painful disappointment and heartbreak can be. At the same time, these experiences help both sisters become more mature and wiser. One thing I really like about this novel is how it shows the realistic characters feel. They are not perfect and they make mistakes just like real people did. Because of that, readers can understand their emotions more easily. Another interesting thing about this novel is Jane Austen's writing style. Even though the language is quite formal because it was written a long time ago, but the story is still engaging and enjoyable to read. She also uses humor and irony to criticize society during her time, like characters care more about money and reputation over true love or kindness. But I think this makes the story even more meaningful because some of these issues still happen in the society today. This novel also teaches us many important moral values. Firstly, we should not let our emotions control our decisions. Marian's emotional nature caused her a lot of pain because she trusted too quickly and follows her feelings without thinking carefully. Secondly, the story teaches us the importance of patience and self-control. Through Eleanor, we can emulate her calm and responsible demeanor. Besides that, the novel also teaches us about honesty, loyalty, and sincerity in relationships like Colonel Brandon did. Furthermore, the novel also teaches us that challenges and disappointment can help people grow stronger and become more mature. Before I end my presentation, I would like to say that reading this novel was actually the best experience for me. At first, I thought Sense and Sensibility would be a grind because it is a classic novel. However, after reading it, I realized that the story is full of emotions, meaningful lessons, and realistic characters that readers today can still relate to. What I like most about this novel is how it shows the balance between logic and emotions. The different personalities makes the story even more meaningful and interesting. In my opinion, Sense and Sensibility is not just a romance novel, but also a story about love, family, maturity, and personal growth. I would definitely recommend this book to readers who enjoys emotional stories and meaningful life lessons. That's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope one day all of you will also have the chance to read this wonderful novel. With that, thank you.